Oh, hi.
Hi.
Oh, this is you.
Yeah, are you guys setting up?
Yes, actually, we had we were taking the next one, but I had scheduled that. Would you using podcast room too? No. So
Tabidi, we've moved. Yeah.
saying that first of all, feeling jealous of someone is a normal human emotion, right? Because they already probably have what you're trying to get. To be my PA, and when I look at my content, you've never shared, you don't follow me, you never share my content, you don't comment on my posts, you don't do anything to support. How is it that I'd feel confident enough to trust you as my PA and I'm bringing you into my world, at a very close level? Number 3 is, again, sometimes. Number 3 is, sometimes, again, more often than not, the people that you're trying to connect with and people who have gone ahead of you, right? They're the ones who, I was saying in my last episode, the ones who actually hold the keys and are on the other side of the door, and you want them to open the door, But now, you also have to feel confident in yourself, regardless of where it is that you're starting from, when you're speaking to them. Because, again, people don't like kiss asses. If you're a kiss ass is someone who you tell them jump and they just ask how high can I jump, or they're just trying as much as possible to just please you. What I've come to appreciate is these people you don't come with that energy, because actually if you come with that energy and you land yourself with the wrong kind of people, in as much as they've gone ahead of you, they'll actually troll you and they'll take advantage of you. So the thing is, yes, for example, you're just starting out. Yes, you don't know, you are yet to figure yourself out truly, but also remember that there's something you have of value that you can leave. We go back to operating from your areas of strength and looking at these people and actually understanding who they are, what they do, and even just from your own analysis, any gaps that they might have that you think you can fill, okay? So when you come with that energy and you tell them, oh, I noticed, for example, when you shoot your videos, there's a bit of, maybe you can improve with regard to shooting your videos. And I happen to be a videographer and I'm really good with shooting content. This is some of my work, and I think if you just employ tip 1, 2, 3, it would help you be better. You see, already they're like, oh my goodness, this person has value to offer me, so it is actually worth my time to sit down and listen to what they have to say. And you see, you've not come to tell them my videography packages start from 20,000, for example. You're just telling them, next time, put a flower on the background or a plant in the background. Next time, shoot while you're against the sun. Just basic tips, and you're not charging them really. Remember, again, we're going back to the principle of you give fast. You give fast, then you get back, right? So, you see now when you look and analyze and realize that these people have gaps, and the gaps that you can feel for them, and you lead with this. First of all, even you appear as someone who's confident. Now there's no aspect of I'm a kiss ass, and that is someone that they actually want to sit down with, because they already have some form of respect because of the impression that you made on them. And now they'll sit down and be like, okay, yeah, maybe we can actually, he or she has something to say, let me see what I can learn from them, So, feel confident in yourself and just show up. Also, just ask. Sometimes just ask, because what's the worst that could happen? They'll say no. Now, Kwani, who has ever died from being told no? No, okay, maybe people have, but really, just ask. That the worst that they could say is no, and it's okay. And also, when you're trying to connect with specific people, as my fourth tip, also do your research about who they are and what they're doing first. And I'll tell you from my own example, where I fumbled sometime last year. There's someone in my connections who sent me a potential lead of a top CEO here in Kenya who was looking for someone to build their personal brand, and they referred me, right? And now when I was making I did my application, it was pretty decent, and I had an interview of sorts with this person. Now, during the interview, they got to ask me questions and realized I actually don't know much about them as I should have, because I should have done my research. So I actually missed out on that opportunity because I had not.
24
Oh,
minus
so
3,
kikata
21.
It's about like 20, 15 minutes. Okay,
Yeah.
So I would say over and above all this, surely. So I would say, usually when them can move around and distract a bit. Walai. So I would say this. Genuinely, when wanting to connect with people, actually have interest. And I know I've used, actually you should count the number of times I've said genuinely in this episode. But genuinely have an interest in who these people are as people themselves, not as a CEO that you'd want to take away from, not as a manager who holds the key, to the door that will give you the opportunity on the other side. And again, sometimes you might not even see the impact of a relationship that you have with people until 3 years down the line, or until something comes up and they say, "Hi Daisy, I have something for you here," right? And this is something that I should mention that is also quite important. Actually nurture these relationships. Once you've made that impression with them, it's positive. Ask them if you could sit down and have coffee, for example. Or sometimes just check in, if they had mentioned they're struggling with something, check in a month later and just ask, "Oh, hey, we had a conversation. I remember you were struggling with ABCD. How's that going so far?" Because you see, when you're nurturing these relationships and this person is like, "Oh, she actually remembers I talked about my struggle with ABCD." That is what warms them up to you even more. And that's how now you're able to connect with them. On a you deepen the relationship, or you deepen the connection that you have. So just nurture these relationships, and it does not mean keep bugging them every day. "Hi, how are you? I hope your day is going great." No, but every so often, do a check-in. Ask what's the progress like, and more often than not, they reciprocate, because they're also like, "Oh, last I checked, you were looking for certain opportunity. Did you get it? Last I checked," and they ask, because you see, it's a two-way relationship. So again, remember, you give first before you get anything in return. Actually, don't even expect anything. You see how you form relationships and you don't expect anything from your friends. You just like them for who they are. That's really somewhat what it's like. And again, just ask. And the last bit is, you cannot have negative energy and expect to connect with anyone. That's actually over and above everything I've said. If you're to take anything home, it's actually genuinely have an interest in people, genuinely wish well for other people, because they'll reciprocate the same energy. And if you're struggling with feelings of, jealousy or anything negative, work on that first, right? Ask God to work on that first before you can actually form genuine connections and genuine relationships. I'm sitting here again because of the many connections that I've been able to form with people, and I'll keep doing more of them, because truly in this world, it's not even about the job or the money at the end of the day. It's about the people. Who do you know? Who is it that when you're in a fix you can call and you know that they'll come through for you? That's really what it's about, especially in the business world. And with that said, thank you for coming up until the end of this episode. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe, and follow us on all social media platforms, on TikTok, on Instagram, on YouTube, at Growing Out Loud. And I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.
Amazing.
How was that? Imeongea sense.
Yeah.
Vizuri sana.
Mimi have connected.
Umeconnect. Chan umeconnect.
Yeah, utaangusha. Kofiti.
Sawa.
Unaweza fanya nini anything ya promo?
Ndo nataka nifanye nini? Niambie.
The one you have suggested.